Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Fly Tying After Dark. My name is Ben Rowell. I am the owner and guide of Highway 3 Angler in Alaska's Susitna Valley. Going to be tying a couple of flies tonight. The first one is going to be the Montana Brassie. Looks a little bit like that. And this is a color combination for Sockeye salmon. Then the other Sockeye fly that I'm going to be tying tonight is called the Sockeye Lightning. Both are pretty simple flies to tie. Just a few materials for each. Before we get started, since this is a live feed, if there's any issues with the sound or lighting, please let me know in the comments over on Facebook. And also, we have a question of the night on Facebook, and that question is, what was the most satisfying moment on the river that you've had? So again, what was your most satisfying moment on the river? And if you can let me know in the Facebook comments, that would be great. So the first fly we're going to get going on is the Montana Brassie in blue and chartreuse. I'm going to start out with some Veevus 8/0 thread in black. I'm just going to put a little bit behind the eye here. Next off, I have some ultra wire in blue, Brassie size. I'm going to tie that in up just behind the eye of the hook. I'm going to put a whip finish on this thread here so I can use the rotary function of my vise. I'm just going to wind this. Oh, came out. Get that tied in there a little bit better. I'm just going to wind this back. It's kind of slow, but I want to keep these wraps close together. Get a little too far apart and just slide them up there. I'm going to go back to just about the tip of the, or the point of the hook there. I'm going to bring this wire forward, do some spirals coming back up towards the eye of the hook. And tie that off. For the wings of this fly, I'm going to use some chartreuse Kiptail. It looks like this. There we go. I'm just going to take a small piece. About that much. I'm going to tie this in so the tips are at the bend of the hook or just past. So I'm going to measure that out. Take off just a little bit more. I'll just do 3 large wraps. These are called gathering wraps or loose wraps that gather the fibers together and still keep them on top of the fly. And pull that tight and start building up ahead. Loose fiber there. Pull out any fibers that didn't get cut by the thread. the 3 wrap whip finish. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of head cement on there. Comes out fast. And there you have the Montana Brassie in blue and chartreuse. Alright, let's go over to see if we got any comments here. Robert Wallach is telling us a story about the possibly the biggest fish his friend caught. Oh, Will. I know who you're talking about, I think there. All right, a few announcements here before we get started on the second fly. If you haven't had a chance to view the 2021 Fly Fishing Film Tour, that's still live. It's a virtual show this year. So if you go to the Fly Fishing Film Tour website, you can buy a ticket. Also, if you're not in Alaska and you're watching this, or if you have any family or friends coming up to Alaska between now and April 4th, you can get up to 21% off your flight up to Alaska. So that's a pretty good deal. Let's check the question of the night. What was the most satisfying moment on the river? Let me know in the comments. I'll let you know mine at the end of the night. So our next fly is going to be Sockeye Lightning. Sockeye Lightning. For that, we're going to use a Umpqua U103 size 6. It's a nymph or small streamer hook. And Danville's 210 denier thread and hot pink. It's bright. I'm going to start this thread behind the eye. And bring it back to just above the barb. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up a Don't have a hot spot on the back of this. Just using the thread. That's what this pink spot is here. It's just thread. Okay, and then for the body and the wing, I'm going to use this Krystal Flash in Rainbow. There we go. Rainbow and Pearl, and it looks like this. That's how you get this multicolored body on here. I'm going to cut about 12 to 15 strands, full length strands. So when I say full length, it's about 6 inches long. And then I'm going to just tie this in by the tips. Bring my thread up to behind the eye. And I'm gonna twist these threads together, or these strands together. Just rolling them in between my fingers. I should have mentioned before I do this, I'm going to put a half hitch or whip finish here near the front so I can use the rotary function of the vise again. I'll just spin these strands together so then they become one. And then using the rotary function, if you have it, we're just going to wrap these Krystal Flash pieces forward. Got a little bit of an uneven body there. Go back and fix that. Lost a fiber. I like the way this is turning out. We got yellow, red, and blue in the front. So I'm going to tie that off right at the eye. Now what I want to do is kind of prop these other strands up. So I'm going to go behind once and get them where I want it. This is how I form the wing. You can see it. They're now forming this part. So you just bring them back over so they're running down the shank. Let's start tying them in. I'll do a 3 wrap whip finish. And I'll do a second one. And I'm going to trim this wing to be same length as the hook. Just a little bit of head cement on there. And there you have the Sockeye Lightning. You could fish this just like you would a Russian river fly with some split shot about 18 inches above it, or you could fish it under an indicator through maybe a school of reds. All right, let's go back here and check question of the night. Oh, hi, Francis. Thanks for watching. Francis gonna catch her limit. Excellent. We got Rob. How's it going, Rob? Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for watching. So I was gonna give my answer to what was the most satisfying moment on the river. Geez, it must have been 7 or 8 years ago. I was at home with my first son, who's probably let's see, he must have been maybe 4 or 5 months old, and it was king salmon season. So I really wanted to go fishing. My wife got home at like 8 o'clock at night, and I was like, okay, I'm going to leave my son with her, and I'm going to go fish. And I can only fish till 11. I think that's when I had to stop fishing. So I got in the car at 8 o'clock. I drove like an hour and 15 minutes to the river, got dressed, and got on the water probably 9:45, 10 o'clock. And at 10:15-ish, I hooked into a chrome king salmon. I don't know how much it weighed, 25 pounds maybe. So it wasn't huge, but it was chrome, and it put up with this awesome fight. But what was so satisfying about it was I could have just stayed at home, watched TV, and hung out with my wife and my kid, but I really wanted to go, so even though I was only going to be able to fish for maybe an hour, I drove that hour and 15 minutes to get there, and it totally paid off. So that was my most satisfying time I spent on the river. All right. Oh yeah, Francis is gonna catch her limit, which is awesome. Okay, well, thanks again for tuning in. The show's called Fly Tying After Dark, but as you can see, it's 8:30. It's not dark anymore. It's not getting dark till like 9 o'clock now. So we'll do it again next week. Not sure what flies we're going to tie yet. If you got any suggestions, let me know in the comment. And again, my name is Ben Rowell. I am the owner and guide at Highway 3 Angler in Alaska's Susitna Valley. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.